Hi guys, I'm doing a review on Calvin Wayman's Fish Out of Water book. I read the audiobook. I don't have my selfie stick, but that's okay. I am doing this review. I'm going to close the window because sometimes the dog tends to bark. And I am doing a review because I love this book, and I want you guys to think about, sometimes books are really long, sometimes they're really short, and Calvin's is really short, but it's to the point, and I like it because, I'm going to tell you why. I'll try not to get them all over the place. So, I wrote a lot of notes when I did this one. Hopefully you guys don't get, my mom doesn't like it when I do FaceTime with her video call, and then she goes all like, don't move around. Calvin's book, I didn't get the actual book. You can get it anywhere you like. You can even get it at your local library probably as well, if you ask them to order it in if they don't have it. But they should have it. The audiobook is the one that I read or listened to. And I like to do things on fast track, which means that I like to speed it up as fast as I can, as fast as my brain is working that moment, that day. And there's a lot of notes that I wrote I want to share with you guys. And I mean, you guys can listen to the review, and I like to do Spark Notes, if you guys know what Spark Notes is. I kind of used it in high school. A lot of people use it for Shakespeare, or I use it for Life of Pi. Just try to get the main points of a book. But you can't do that with this book, meaning it's only 2 hours long if you're doing the audiobook, 2.5 hours if you're doing the audiobook, listening to the audiobook. And the reason I say don't just look at the point forms is A, because it's too short. It's going to be packed with great things. There's no point getting a Spark Note. It's maybe better to do Spark Notes for like essays or anything like bigger that are like to the point. You want to just get the points out, but this book already has all of that. There's no point in doing that. And the other thing was, I really like the book because there's so many quotes in it, and you can't really like take the quotes out into Spark Notes. There's no point in doing that. And I love quotes, as you guys may know. I have the Hustle Inspires account, which is just filled with awesome stuff. This is perfect for me. One of my favorite quotes that he uses in the book is, I'm pretty sure he uses this in the book. I don't know, I've read a lot of books. I'm trying to read at least a book a week, if not a day. If you do audiobooks and you're on fast track, you can do it as well. It's not that hard. I used to take up speed reading classes, and I'm not really as good with my eyes as I am with my ears, given I only have one ear. My other one doesn't really work. And here, before I tell you guys the notes, and my notes, I noticed they're all over the place. When I went back, I was like, oh no. So I'm going to give you the top 3 things that he talks about in the entire book. But the reason I wanted to tell you guys to actually read the book was because every person gets something different out of it. And at the time period that you're reading it or listening to it, in my case, then you're definitely going to have to watch for certain things, and certain things will resonate better with you. And given that it's so short, I heard that some people can read it on a plane ride, and it's perfect. So here we go. I'm going to read it to you. The top 3 things that he wants to implement in your mind in this book. I'm going to have this as the background. Number 1, take imperfect, consistent action. So I'm just going to read them. Number 2, hire a coach and surround yourself with top performers. And then he says, so this is number 1, take imperfect, consistent action. And then number 2, hire a coach and surround yourself with top performers, whatever industry. And he says, I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. And I'm going to go back on this point, and I'm going to share something personal with you guys. And number 3 out of the top 3 is personal development. So reading these books, like I said, I'm going to try to do 1 book a day. I'm learning Spanish at the same time. You can do it. Like, take consistent action. I had to take consistent action just to get my ass here and try to live a different life. I didn't have good parents, and so I had to get out of the situation. And you know, I could have just like lied to myself and said, that's it, this is my life. And here I am in a co-working space, taking a video in this beautiful space in this 3 stories. Can bring my dog. Now I adopted a cat last Sunday, or this past Sunday, and it's just like beyond amazing. So it doesn't just have to go for your work, it can go into your personal life. Now, I don't know why I feel like crying, but it's just like I felt the gratitude there, because it is so true. Even if consistent action requires little steps, baby steps, do it. Taking these videos, I am not good at them, and my battery is about to run out. But I'm still doing them, even though I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm taking some classes online on Skillshare, which I can leave the links down below. I did some Udemy courses and things like that on just how to get, like, the initial thing is always a fear. I don't know any Spanish, and I don't know, it's just that, number one. I would take that to heart on his number 1 point. And on point number 2, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. I gotta share something personal, that I learned a lesson kind of a hard way. We all learn lessons, sometimes we have to get over it and brush it off of our shoulders. Just because, I don't know how to say it so it resonates with you guys, I made a mistake. Coming into this space, I don't care at this point. I'm just going to be honest, reviewing anything and everything. I'm going to be as honest as possible. Sometimes if I'm not sharing certain things, but right now, for example, my goal, even before I read this book, was to surround myself with people who are smarter than me, who are doing something that I don't know that they know that they're succeeding in, like the person who has this space. I became very close friends with them, and a lot of other people here. And I learned that just because sometimes people are smarter than you does not mean they're going to be in your life forever, and does not mean they are there to benefit you and you are there to benefit them in more ways than that particular way. How do I explain that? So I came here to be inspired, be surrounded by goal-oriented people, people who are just not necessarily just go-getters, but also in the spiritual world as well. And I found that sometimes people don't really care about you and your well-being. So be careful with that. Just a word of, like a note on the side. Sometimes you can have friends around you that may not be as smarter than you. Every single person in the world knows something that you don't. And I know that. And it can be an egotistical thing to sometimes say, oh, that person doesn't have money, or they don't have cars, or they don't have this like cool Gucci purse. I mean, I don't care about that stuff right now. I'm at that level, I feel, to like be able to do all those things and purchase all those things, but not yet, because I'm more on the spiritual journey of things, because sometimes people just don't care, and the people who I have around me don't care about that stuff. Like people who actually, like, I just read a quote today, I'm going to show you guys on my Instagram. I have this one friend who, and turns out, he like dragged my butt to the doctor. He took care of my dog, took care of my computer. And by the way, this is a little cat, little kitten. She loves my dog. Here's my dog. My dog's 12 years old. Doesn't like anybody. Here's the quote. Some people talk to you on their free time. Others free their time to talk to you. Learn the difference. So I'm going to say it again. Some people talk to you only on their free time. Others free their time to talk to you. Learn the difference. Now, I'm not really good at returning calls or texting people first. I'm getting better at that, like the whole social aspect, given my parents didn't really I didn't have a really good background growing up, so there was like a lot of doubts and stuff. But like this guy, just like he would be like, you know what, I don't have time, and he's like so busy, he's got his own business, he's a broker, does everything. I have time, but I'm going to make time so we can go to that spiritual shop that you wanted. I'm going to make time to take you to the doctor, even though I didn't even want to go to the doctor that day. Like, he like took me. And the reason I'm bringing all this into the review, I mean, this is not just a review only, is because I want you guys to understand that I had to learn that. So this is, by the way, how you can, let me show you guys. So, you got the book. I'm listening to it all over, excuse me. You got the book. And basically, what you do is, during that clip, you click this little button right here. I don't know if it's focusing or not. It says clip right here. And you can see the cat scratch. It's really not that bad. And then when you clip it, you go to the top, you can write your notes, clips and bookmarks, and then you got the bookmark, right? So I got all this. I'm going to basically read to you guys. It's not that much. Basically, I told you guys a little bit about it. But on point number 2 out of the 3 points, number 1, taking perfect, consistent action no matter what it is. I'm taking these videos, I have no clue what the hell I'm doing half the time. Hire a coach, surround yourself with top performers. Hire a coach and surround yourself with top performers, 2 different things. I went into a little bit of detail, surround yourself with top performers. All these people around me, maybe like 91 to 97, 98%, all people around me are top performers in whatever they're doing. But, again, watch your back. Be careful. Just because somebody's a top performer does not equal they have your heart on their mind, meaning that like you are a human being, you can get hurt. Even we make mistakes, for them not to like take that. I mean, when they made so many mistakes, I brushed it off my shoulders until the biggest one happened. So be careful, watch the red flags. You can still be around people, learn from them, but that doesn't equal being best friends or expecting them to be true to you, if that makes sense. Just go with your vibe. That's why it's so important for you to, or for us to meditate. I don't meditate as much anymore because I feel that I'm strong enough to like know the difference. You don't even have to meditate to know the difference. You can just walk around the trees and know. Hire a coach. I've done that. I have Chris Record as one of my, not personal one-on-one coach, but like I'm learning. I've learned a lot from him. Like he did that one video. This is how I literally started with like a video I saw online. I forgot what his name was. This boy who was selling a t-shirt, selling online t-shirt courses. I was living in a basement in Newmarket. I just like had a hard time, like a bad time. I had just gotten out of a woman's shelter because like the whole situation with my mom and everything. And I just couldn't, I'm like, you know what, I have a job right now and I just can't do it. And I remember like taking that course, $7 course. And I remember him talking about ClickFunnels. I forgot his name. Mike Vesteel, that's what his name was. I don't follow him as much anymore. But like that was my first, other than I don't even remember when I started on Amazon. That whole thing, eBay and Amazon started when I went, actually my friend Angie in Canada, she invited me to this like conference thing. I went with my dad and like a bunch of other people. We went together and I took this eBay course outside of the conference. From the conference we purchased it, and then that eBay course led me to Amazon, and then I listed my first Amazon thing. But I don't remember if that was, I think that was after. I think that was much after the whole like t-shirt thing. So Mike Vesteel's t-shirt course led me to ClickFunnels and led me to a whole bunch of other stuff. Even Chris Record, I took his like, right now I'm taking I'm on Lifepreneur, and it's like, I've learned a lot, and now we're doing like the whole marketing agency, which is really cool. It's really dope. And now I'm going to, like I'm part of ClickFunnels now, which is great. Okay, so, and that's where the whole coaches come in. You have to be, even if you don't, sometimes you have to pay them, like I'm paying mine, like the ClickFunnels one. But, and then like Chris Record is just like his courses and stuff. Like I'm a part of his, like the mastermind community. I haven't gone yet, but I can't wait until we have one. Because every time I wanted to go after when I was free, after I was done school, it just never worked out. Even like during my exam time, I wanted to go. Anyway, so number 3, be personal development. Hey guys, so I'm gonna sit down because even though I had the battery in charge for a long time, I'm literally gonna read what I wrote. It's not gonna make sense, but I'm gonna read it from the top to the bottom. Number 1, take imperfect, consistent action. Number 2, this is what his book is about. Hire a coach and surround yourself with top performers. I surround myself with people that are all smarter than me. Number 3, personal development. So, and then he has the Will Smith quote that you may be faster than me, you may be smarter than me, but you will never outrun me on the treadmill. Even if I have to die, you're not getting off the, or I'm not getting off the treadmill before you do. So it's kind of like that. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to share all of these things, but I think what's the key factor here is that everybody listens to this book, and the reason why I don't want to share everything in the book is because it's only 2.5 hours long if you're listening to the audiobook. If not, it's a short read. I would say that everybody read this book because just like a teacher, the student, kind of basically, I'm going to reiterate what I wrote, like the student shows up when the teacher shows up when the student is ready, kind of. So you have to be ready to hear what's being broadcasted and what's written. Also, every single person will get a different perspective from a chapter, word, or sentence, or any kind of idea. So basically the point of that, what I'm trying to say here is, because it's such a short book, again, I was saying how if this was a really, really big book, it would, and you would just want to get like the main points, yeah, you can listen or read the spark notes. But because it's so short, and it's so like compact, and it's so kind of like, okay, get up off your ass and do something about your life, I could just say that to you, but it's something that he says or writes that is so important for you to get out what you think. So if you want me to write a spark notes, I'm only going to like get out of it what I am intended to get out of it in that moment, or what I intend to find meaningful. But a word that has absolutely no resonance with me, if that made sense, did not resonate with me, could be like the game changer for you. Which is why, because it's such a small book, I would say you would read it yourself. If you, like, it's something that you don't need to take up a lot of your time to do it. And so it's really important, I would say, with any book that's small, and not just this book. Again, if you don't want to like pay, you can always ask your librarian to get you one for your local library. I know not everybody's in a situation to be able to. But I think you can get the book, I'm not sure, but I'm going to double check. I think you can get the book for free, the audiobook, if you don't have Audible, or you can just sign up with a new email. I'm not sure how that works, but I know like your first book should be free. So I would choose this book because it's like if you want to actually get your have action, this would be it. So I'm going to read the rest of it. So it's important. Read it because every single person will get something different out of it. And that's not just with this book, that's with any book that is especially smaller that you do have the time for. Even big books, I would just read it or listen to the audiobooks because, and like, I would have it too, because it's so small, I would actually buy it if you can, because then you can do a quick read again over and over, because you will get something different out of it. This is not the kind of book where it's like a storybook and you know how it ends. This is something that like, it might resonate with you, like a quote might resonate with you at a different time, and it'll get you off your ass, your butt. So here's what I wrote. So please go read the book yourself if you have time. Also, another thing is that I love to double X the speed, and I wouldn't recommend those for everybody. It depends on what you are doing that day. If you're driving or if you're just listening to the audiobook, sitting down, having a tea or coffee or drink. So the way I look at it is that if I go to a normal speed and my mind works at a rapid pace that day, I'm very fast. Even when I talk, usually I'm very fast and most people can't catch up with me. So what I have discovered is that I used to hate to read or listen to audiobooks, and I realized the reason for that was because I would be thinking as slow as the speed as the audiobook would read, or even just how fast my eyes would read through the pages, which basically means that like I would get tired because it would be like too slow and my mind would be so fast that I would literally have to go back and try and like pay attention. But if it's like reading at a faster pace for me, then it's like on the same wavelength as my mind, so my mind catches on more and I'm not like drifting off to something else. Or for you, if you find that it's too fast, you can even slow it down. If you're a slow thinker or a slow talker, like if people tell you all the time like, whoa, like slow down, you need things faster. If people are telling you like, okay, like hurry up, like what's your point, what are you trying to say, like when you're having any kind of conversation, then that means you think things through, so you can have things at a slower pace. So maybe actually reading the book would be better for you, whereas for me it's like, okay, my eyes don't work as fast, and for it to register in my brain like through the book, through the eyes, through the brain, it's just too much for me to handle. It's just too slow and I can't deal with it, and I just wouldn't read. Even though I love reading, like I absolutely love reading, I just wouldn't do it and I would fall asleep, whereas if I'm doing it really fast, it would just be better. Unless I'm doing something multitasking, then I would slow it down. And then I would say I think about how fast you're thinking and speed it up to that level, or even lower it if that's okay for you, because if my mind or your mind is thinking faster than the actual speed of the book, then your thoughts will be thinking about 1 billion things a second or million things a second. So what you have to do is either speed up the audiobook or slow it down to your thinking level, so that you don't miss any content and you don't have to repeat it. And that's something that I found to be working for me. If you're thinking slower than the audiobook or any kind of podcast or YouTube video, then basically it's too fast for you and you're just kind of like, ugh, like how do I do this? I always do it with my YouTube videos, unless it's like music. It's just like a side note, I would just say, because people might think, oh, it's too fast, you're never going to catch on, but actually I found that when it's faster, it's on the same wavelength, whereas if I'm thinking faster than what it's reading, I'm already going like all these other thoughts, and I'm pretty good, like I can slow down my thoughts and I can meditate and like not have to worry. Like I used to suck at meditating, like we used to go for meditation for like 2.5 something, like I think it was a little bit over 2 hours, I don't remember, this was a few years ago, and it was just like so hard for me to deal with. But after a while, like I'm able to actually like quiet my mind, but not if I'm wanting to learn. If I'm engaging with something, my mind has to work faster. Sorry. If I'm engaging with something, my mind has to work faster, and it's not going to work. If something is slower than my mind, then it's just like I'll like actually miss content and I'll have to bring it back. But if it's actually as fast as I'm thinking, it forces me to pay attention. And here's another note. If you think it's too fast for you, it's kind of like driving. You don't just go from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in a second. No, you slow. It's like too fast for you. And if you notice you get off the highway, you tend to speed in the normal speed limit, because your body and your mind and everything in the gas pedal in the car, and the speed of everything is already adjusted to that 100 kilometers an hour, 120, 140. And so, same thing with the audiobook. If you want to train yourself to listen to it faster, I didn't do it automatically. I trained it by 0.5 faster, 0.5 more faster. So it would be, instead of normal, it would be 1.5 to 2.5, 3. I don't think it goes faster than 3.5, but if it does, I try to do it anyway. So But don't, like, I don't always do it at 3. Like, I try to do it, keep it at like 2 or 2 points, because like that's the speed that I think. Unless I'm like, I said like protein shake that day, or like some kind of like somehow I'm like better and more focused that day, then I would do it faster. And same thing, that's how, if you want to like learn how to do things faster, just to speed it up, then do it slow. Do 0.5. Do, like, it would be normal. Like, for example, YouTube videos have the same thing. You do normal, and then you do 1.5. And then once you adjust to that, you do 2. Once you adjust to that, and it depends on the content too, and the reader. So be careful. It's not just about the speed that you're always used to, or the speed that you want to adjust yourself to get accustomed to. It's always about the content as well. If it's something really, really difficult, don't do it fast. But if it's something like somebody's talking and you try to get like a review too much, then just like speed it up, or like skip it, or whatever you'd like. So I don't know what else to talk about. I would just say just read the book. It's really cool. It's funny because it's things I already know, but because of his story, it makes it more relevant to you, or to me anyway. It makes it more relevant to me, and it makes me think like, gosh, like I can do this as well, you know? So I wouldn't just like go by my word, or go by like a Spark Notes and be like, okay, well this is what I have to do to be successful. I already read you the top 3 at the beginning of the book, and like throughout the book he already tells you the top 3. So anybody could just stop the book and be like, oh, okay, I already know the top 3 things to do. But like he goes in depth on the top 3 of what he did and how it helped him. And so when you have something to relate to, it makes it more comfortable for your system to adapt, and for you to have to take advantage of that too, and for you to be like, okay, well that person did it, I can do it too. Like if you see somebody who's like you've known and they had like weight gain or whatever, and then you see them lose weight, or like even in the process of it, whereas he tells you the process of it, it's not like you went away 1 year and then came back and then that person lost weight. Okay, that's like one motivation, because you know that person is relevant to you. But like if they tell you the process of it and you see them through the process of them losing the weight, just like how he tells you the process of how it happened for him and how he became successful and how he like it helped his credit and it helped like with his coaching, then it's more relevant. So it makes you're more like, oh my gosh, like I can lose weight too. Oh my gosh, I can do that too. I see the strategy that they're using. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but I see people who I've known that are learning Spanish and they're like really good and they can hold a conversation. Well, I can do it too. Whereas when I first came here and everybody was talking Spanish and I was like, I don't even know like what they're saying. Like, oh look, there's a little cute thing going up the wall. So I wish I could show you guys. It's like a little lizard. They have lots of these here. But it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, it's too much. That's what I was thinking. Like I came here, everybody was talking Spanish. Like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what they're saying. It's too much. I can't deal with this. But then little by little, I got it. And you got it too. Bye. I feel like I should add more things, and I will add it probably from my computer, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to do these videos. Keep them long, keep them short. I know people who are successfully doing videos for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. All of their videos are that long, and people still get the content out of them. I'm not sure. People who are doing longer, people like that, I'm not sure. But you guys tell me. You guys tell me what you guys like, what you don't like, what I'm going to take out. Please don't be mean. Be nice. I mean, if you're not nice, then I don't know. I guess I'll have to deal with it. Push it off my shoulder. Okay, bye. I'm not sure how to pause this. Say hi. No, I didn't. 5 minutos más. Okay. 5 minutos más. Okay? Hey guys, I forgot to tell you, please like, comment. I will try to, I think I get notifications. I get some notifications. I don't know, like, do all the comments go into notifications? Anyway, please like if you like the video. If you don't like it. Please subscribe if you do like this video. That would be awesome. And bye. We'll talk to you later.